For more about how the war in Gaza is changing the face of the Arab world, we are joined once again by Ghassan Shabaneh. He is a professor of international studies at Marymount Manhattan College and is a Palestinian-American. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Two of our allies, I mean the United States' allies, and that's Egypt and the Palestinian Authority, have been criticized in the Arab world for being too conciliatory towards Israel during this conflict. Meanwhile, Iran, which has been one of Hamas's biggest supporters, seems to be gaining strength in the Arab world. So where does that leave the U.S. and the new administration?
I think the U.S. has to focus on strengthening Abbas, because Abbas is the best option and the best hope for a peaceful solution in the Middle East. At the same time, they have also to convince the Palestinians to be behind Abbas 100%, because if the end of the game is a Palestinian state, democratic state living by Israel, Abbas must be the president of that state, and Abbas is the only one that can sign that agreement. Strengthening Abbas is in the interest of Israel and in the interest of the United States.
What are the implications for other Arab nations if the death toll continues to rise and it appears that there's no end in sight to this war?
I am afraid that some of those regimes will lose power and will lose legitimacy the way they are. I mean, the Egyptians cannot let this onslaught go and continue without them fearing for their own place in history. This is very critical, and also the Yemenis and also the Saudis. You know, all the Arabs are seeing that the Palestinians are being killed and no Arab country can do anything about it. This is very upsetting to the average Arab and to the average individual on the Arab street. And this is, it shouldn't go on the way it is.
Do you think there are particular governments that are vulnerable?
I would say that the Egyptians at this stage, I would say also that the Jordanians are, and also the Yemenis are, because they are seeing that they are a pro-Abbas or a pro-Hamas, but they have not done nothing at this stage.
The two Palestinian factions, and I'm talking about Fatah and Hamas, have been obviously at odds for years. Yes. I think the question, the concern perhaps is this conflict strengthening Hamas at the expense of Fatah? And what will that mean for the United States?
On the short run, the answer is yes. Hamas now is getting the sympathy of the streets. But on the long run, the Palestinians are asking themselves one question: who can deliver the state to the Palestinians, Hamas or Fatah? And the answer is very clear, that Fatah is now, has more legitimacy and is better recognized around the globe. And it is the only power that can deliver the state. But the United States must strengthen Abbas economically, and must strengthen him also militarily and with the negotiations. Israel cannot continue to build settlements. All the blockades must be lifted. Jerusalem has to be open for Christian and Muslim prayers and people who want to come for worship. And all of these things must be given to Abbas if Abbas to continue.
Ghassan Shabaneh, as always, thank you.
Thank you, sir.